Hi, I'm Siim, representing Bisly here. First of all, thank you for an invite. My relations or Bisly's relations with Norway are quite deep. So first of all, we won the NEC Innovation Award this year. We are now a member of NEC, recently signed up. Then we have from last year Innovation Norway ICT grant that we're working on, and our technology will be soon deployed both in residential and commercial sector in Norway. But now a little bit about us, why we are here and what's the point. So in 2018, Bisly was founded. It came down to my experience where I invested 11 years ago into one smart building startup. And then learnings from there and learnings from my previous experience in other companies in technology sector, we realized that there is a market opportunity there because intelligent or smart buildings still are a niche in the market. So, for example, when we came to market out of the stealth mode in 2020, only under 4% of new residential buildings had some smartness in it, and it was purely luxury product or high-end properties. And basically, I, together with the founders, we started to investigate why is that. And we found that actually it's not that about deeply about hardware price, but actually depending on the country's cost level, it all comes down to the related overheads. So in the case of Estonia, it's roughly 70% overhead, 20 to 30 hardware. In case of Norway and Japan, it can be up to 90% overheads, which is then not enabling this change in the market. And then when starting to create the product, both the hardware and the software, we had a single kind of target in mind. So how to make the intelligent buildings mainstream. So to get to the level that the pricing of intelligent building is in the same range or at the same level as traditional building. And that meant that we had to, first of all, attack the overhead, so reduce it as much as possible. And then as well to make the architecture and the hardware robust and cheap as well. But the business kind of those three pillars were that buildings emissions from the buildings are roughly 40% globally, which is very high contributor for the pollution. Secondly, back then also the EU green directive came out firstly. It has been now kind of moved forward, and basically it says that in the future all the new buildings should be intelligent, but why not right now? And the thirdly was that one of the big points to where the overhead is coming from is there's a lot of engineering related costs, but also integrators. There's a lot of programming, manual work, setting up servers that all generates a lot of overhead. And also as it has a big human component, it also generates problems, which then has been kind of another issue why the smart buildings have not become mainstream yet. But functionality-wise, we all know, what the functionalities of the smart building, both in the residential and office space are. From that list, actually, the only car charging is missing. But functionality's point of view, that hasn't been a problem. So if you pay a lot of money, it still has been for tens of years possible to make building smart. But it has never had any kind of big focus on the energy saving. And another thing has been the cost. So the solution is that together with Taltech University back in 2018, we started to develop our own hardware from that perspective that there weren't any hardware that we could leverage in a way that it's sustainable and future-proof. So we created our own controllers. We created to get a new kind of 10.1-inch screen that is purpose-based for the smart buildings. And then super sensor, which is mainly meant for the offices, but also in premium developments that's being used. And then on the software side, our technology also integrates then with all the market players. So, for example, at the moment we have integrations with 18 ventilation machine manufacturers, which is plug and play. And same with access controls and so on, which are widely used in the market. But when I mean the integration is basically done once, so we take away the integrator pain, where normally they would need to create those integrations and program all those modules manually. And actually we have now a patent on the process, so how we reduce this kind of cost and enable smart buildings at the cost of traditional ones. So first, the platform already starts from manufacturing. So we treat PCB manufacturers as our printers. So we are able to manufacture in US, Japan, or it doesn't make any difference. How many factories we manufacture the hardware. It's during the manufacturing, it's up registered in the cloud, and also the first version of the software is pushed on the hardware. Now the main obstacle has been the engineering cost and the installation cost. So how we solve that is that there is a digital twin configurator that our partners are able to use. I will come to that later, but that can be like a low current company, but why not also prefabricated house manufacturer. So it's possible to configure the house during the quoting process. And if one of the quotes now is accepted, then two things happen. Firstly, order is generated for the hardware needed. Another thing is that automatically server is generated for that installation, and that dramatically reduces the overheads. Plus, then it also has very positive effect for the building management, because there's a big issue that the building management configuration depends on the integrator, which means that every building with a traditional technology out there has unique set of data and configuration. In our case, if it has gone through our platform, the data model is unique, which means that over time we are able to maximize the energy savings and learn the specifications of that building and relate that with the environment. But now I will show you a short video, and then I will come back to. So what you saw there was like the end result. So basically installation process. You saw that any basically electrician or low current engineer can install the product without any line of code written. So basically they navigate using their application to the building that's already on the platform, and then just scan and connect the devices, which then receive the configurations and will know what to do. And then eventually it all comes down to the energy savings. So as the data model is the same, all the hardware is updated remotely. There are basically 99.9% all of the possible issues or monitoring can be done remotely, which means that we or our partners don't need to send any engineers to the sites, which then again saves costs to all parties. Energy savings, different levels of savings from different functionalities. But then, as I said, in the end, our current focus is to get as many as possible installations out there to have the mass, and then we are able to build ultimately the maximum energy savings that are possible with that sensoring and today's technologies. And so as I said, we are making saving energy simple by taking those steps. Okay, maybe a little bit about competition as well. So in Europe, main competitor is in the professional services is KNX, which is Siemens Schneider, their consortium from the 90s. And the difference is that there's a big difference in the overhead cost and overall project cost. So it's several times, in fact. So in case of our solution in residential sector, the add-on cost per apartment is a few €100. If you take that, you get the screen as well. Then it's for free. Plus it brings a lot of indirect savings for the developer, which is mainly related to the warranty. So when you have the control of the buildings that you are building during the warranty period, you are able to avoid several warranty cases, and also avoid, since you have the sensoring data, you don't need to run to the sites as often as you would with a conventional process. And then the hardware cost as well. Why it's cheaper is that the architecture itself is very robust. It's a wired solution. From the engineering point of view, the electrical cabling is standard, so you don't need to. The engineers don't need to learn any additional skills. How the wiring should be. The only thing is that then there is a data cable that's going through the points. But and then again, all the devices are remotely controlled, also the screen. So it's whether power over Ethernet, or then it's cable-based updates over the wires. And maybe a little bit now visuals and where we are. So as I told, initially in Estonia, when we came to market, it was 4% of the total market. Next year, we see that roughly 50% of all residential new builds will have our technology. And end of last year, we had roughly 20 million sales pipe on the residential sector. Today, it's roughly 25. And it comes down to roughly 10,000 apartments. Obviously, that's over many years, but still it will have a significant environmental impact. Now to the hospitality and outside markets. So actually this week we are installing first installation outside of Estonia, which will be followed installations in 3 more countries later this year. Actually, the funny thing is that this installation is in Öland, and actually it's prefabricated apartment building used for hospitality. And as far as I know, it's also manufactured in Estonia. So it's to the point. But when it comes to hospitality, we have roughly 800 hospitality units in the pipe, and also in hospitality sector, obviously, access control, remote management, all that automation saves a lot of money and also overhead for anyone who is running the buildings for the hospitality purposes. And now for the offices. So actually at the moment our biggest focus is on offices, because the other kind of side of the platform is already quite productized. So we did a pilot last year with Utilitas headquarters, especially, again, market drive. They wanted to have a green like LED certificate, and when moving to office, it wasn't possible because the technology was obsolete and it wasn't possible to make targets. But the same comes now as a trend. So we know that big companies like Microsoft globally are requiring for all their offices to be with green certificates. So we see a lot of refurbishing and upgrades going on that market, and we are at the moment working on that. And also we see that this autumn probably we will do first office upgrade in Norway. For this specific case, next to the convenience and the health benefits of having a human-centric lighting, they had before Luminophore, with lights with normal switches. Now with the smart needs-based lighting, the energy savings roughly 5 times. So that's quite the biggest massive number also. And with current energy prices, the return on investment is pretty fast. And maybe now zooming out a little bit, as I told, the data model is the same. So if you are building, for example, refurbishing like prefab house manufacturer, you also have a lot of benefits by running all your buildings on the platform. Same comes to the real estate funds or the developers as well, because they are able to learn. Many of them don't still care about the buildings also after the warranty period is over, but also have the full visibility of what's going on during the warranty period. It's very crucial for them. And bigger the penetration, bigger the savings, bigger the winnings for all parties. So I guess I can wrap it up and maybe take some questions if there are any.
Yeah, thank you, Siim. And I have a question about the technology sector is moving super fast. So how do you guarantee that you're not tomorrow you're new tech, and so today you are not old tech? How do you keep up with the times?
No, so first of all, we are at the moment definitely using the latest technologies, and that's also attractive for the talent. But overall, we keep on innovating. No? First of all the current customers and future customers, as we have this type of Tesla model, where all the updates are given to all the customers automatically. The current platform is evolving all the time. Plus, we are we will keep on adding new features and functionalities for the future that everybody will benefit from.
Okay, thank you. And also, as a startup founder myself, I'd like to ask, how much did it take for you to become like an revenue making and client earning?
So
startup?
that's actually one of the thing to the regulators. So green business, green IT business is much more expensive than just selling software. So before coming out of stealth mode, so starting selling, we invested roughly 2 million or two together with some grants. And I would say that it will take us roughly, we will be at 10 million roughly when we say that the market, the platform is fully scalable for the market. But raising money so far hasn't been a problem. At the moment, we are also raising And there are more now green funds coming into play, which then understand that it will take more time, but there will be also more long-term benefits.
Yeah, and do you see that governments and investors and people altogether are supporting technology like this?
Yeah, so traditional VCs, I would say 98% say no, definitely if there's some hardware component or something that you can't sign up online and start paying. But there are a lot of angels. So we have like 5 unicorn founders who have also think about sustainability, and there are now many green funds, as I said, coming out where the money itself is green and needs to be into green places. So that has been very helpful, and large parts of that obviously are coming from the EU and then directed as investments to different funds. So I wouldn't say that it's hopeless. So at the moment, being in this green IT business is much better than being in very early stage SaaS startup.
Yeah, thank you. And we have one question in Works Up also. Can you tell more about Bisly ambitions? What else are you planning to develop regarding energy efficiency in housing industry, or what kind of obstacles needs to be solved in future?
So as I told, there's still a lot to do. So at the moment we are focusing on how to deliver at scale. So we have signed now up 3 partners who are, our installation partners and sales partners. We are developing a platform in that sense that we would be able to onboard in any point of in any country the local installation and engineering companies to resell the platform and then deliver. But that also applies to prefabricated house manufacturers, because from that point of view it's even better that we just hand over the platform and our technology and they can benefit from. At the same time, we are taking opportunistic approaches to the global market. So we are in process of certificating the hardware for the US and Japanese markets, and also just even though that we don't need, we will also take the TÜV certificate for Germany. That's the first aim, to deliver at scale, and then it comes to all this type of maximizing the energy savings and integrating with those green grid balancing and all possible other kind of players out there to maximize the potential of the platform.
Thank you. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
So thanks for Siim. And next up.
Basically, yeah, we were pitching a name and it's like building intelligent solutions, and I is just some fun part, like I love you, for example.
Okay, thank you.